Hi, guys, and welcome to week 11. This is Group E presenting. The question is professional baseball players are not allowed to trash talk their opponents in public, for example, at press conferences or interviews. A team reprimanded a player for tweeting disparaging remarks about an opponent. Is it reasonable for the team to include Twitter and the prohibition of on trash talk? Is prohibiting remarks on Twitter a violation of the player's freedom of speech? Do you have another interpretation or analysis of the situation? Explain your position. So we broke it down into parts. Is it reasonable for the team to include Twitter in the prohibition on trash talk? It is reasonable for the team to include Twitter and, in general, social media in the prohibition of trash talking. There's a job condition against publicly trash talking opponents. For instance, then Twitter is a public medium of constant communication and should be covered under this condition. That said, though, there should be clear guidelines between the employer and the player as to what the conditions of employment are and in in relation to social media postings, so as to not unreasonably limit the player posts. The second question is prohibiting remarks on Twitter a violation of the player's freedom of speech? First, we must look at if the speech used in tweets is prohibited already under freedom of speech. The two kinds of speech that are prohibited are fighting words, speech that incited hatred or violence, and advocating illegal activity, which is a bit more self-explanatory. I think in most cases the trash talk doesn't necessarily exceed just being insults and competitive boasting, so it will be covered in under freedom of speech. If not, the trash talk tweets are used as a gateway into physical confrontation, then the tweets are not supported. Now that we know the hypothetical situation covers freedom of speech, is this a violation of players' rights? This case is definitely an example of what is ethical versus what is lawful. The short answer to this question is yes, it is within the player's rights of freedom of speech to make these remarks. So it's probably lawful, but is it ethical? No. Firstly, the player most likely signed a contract that agreed to this prohibiting trash talk on Twitter. So while he may not be charged for anything for doing it, he may very well lose his job. He'd also gone back on his word to the team to refrain from trash talking, which is not ethical. Secondly, players' actions, in this case tweets, reflect the reputation of their team. Not only does his decision affect his own reputation, but also all of the members on the team. Therefore, while it is still within his rights to do so, as prohibiting remarks on Twitter is a violation of the player's freedom of speech, it is not exactly ethical for him to do so. And then another interpretation or analysis that we had of this situation was the team may be at fault simply because they did not explicitly say what he can and can't say where it concerns social media, in the sense that it may just say that you can't trash talk or publicly denounce someone in an interview or in a press conference, but it doesn't say anything about social media because these contracts may not have been updated. Which brings me to the next point of these contracts should be more all-encompassing because of the fact that the more technological advancements we have, the more mediums there are going to be to publicly denounce and trash talk someone. And those are our views, and thank you for watching.